Brian, I can only assume that you're frustrated with this, but how would you articulate your frustration at the home form this year and kind of your form against the Timbers at home?
That's going back a ways, Jeremiah. The home form against the Timbers, that's going back a ways, and that's starting to eat at me a little bit for sure. The home form this season, yeah, there were some, performances that weren't great. Would I go out and say that this performance was great? No, but I thought we created enough chances to get something out of the game. Maybe not a win, but a draw or something late in the game. Catch a little break here or there. But it certainly is something, Jeremiah, that might just be a blip on the radar. I think our record at home overall has been pretty good. And, I don't have an answer for you. I just don't.
Boss.
Ryan, you guys are prolific scoring in the second half. Is there something to be said about the team starting on the front foot early in games?
Maz, I would almost say that we started on the front foot almost too much in the first half. And what I mean by that is I didn't think we allowed the game to come to us. I didn't think we had any patience when we finally got possession of the ball. I think we fell into the trap that we don't, it's not normal, but sometimes we get into, is that we chase defensively, we press because we're at home, we want to press. And in our new shape, in our new formation, I need, Nico and Christian to kind of stay with Williamson and Pareda and Chara. They need to sit there, let the center backs have the ball, that's fine. Okay, Raul can cut the field in half. And then when the ball goes to the outside backs, it's actually Alex and Brad have to step forward. But what was happening was Nico, God bless him, and Christian, God bless him, they always want to do so much for the team. And then they go out and chase the center backs, or they chase the outside backs, and then it leaves a hole, and then the team gets out on the other side. And we start chasing the game defensively. So I think we were trying to be on the front foot, and it just kind of backfired on us. Then we'd get possession of the ball, but we'd a little fatigued because we've been chasing, and then we give the ball right back to them. And it's not something that this team is, we've played ourselves out of those moments, Maz. And I think in the second half, when we made the adjustments, I think they worked, but that first half wasn't very good.
Stephen.
Two questions for you, Coach. First off, did you feel that you were able to match Portland for energy in the first half? And second, what was your message to the group at the break?
Energy, yes, because it wasn't like they weren't trying. I mean, we just were trying in the wrong places or at the wrong moments. And then we just tried to, again, get back to what I just said, just stay disciplined. We know this will work. This is how we've won a lot of games this year. We're still in first place. We just need them to understand, and I think I said this the other day, I can't remember, but it's going to take a little bit of time to incorporate Nico. This is just, again, it's just his, fourth game back, and, he's such an influential player for us, and, it's going to take a little bit of time. So, we'll get there, but just wasn't a good first half.
As we continue our questions here in the room, a reminder for those of you on Zoom to hit the raise hand function button so Matt can call on you for the digital version, or digital edition, I should say, of the press conference. We'll go ahead right here.
Coach, barring those two errors, it really was anyone's game, right? Because as you mentioned, you were trying to take advantage of opportunities there. Errors happen, obviously. That's just part of the game. What can you do, or what can players do to minimize those errors, I guess, in the games going forward, I think?
Well, you are absolutely correct. Mistakes happen. The messaging from the coaching staff is always, let's try not to give things away. If a team earns it, scores a golazo, I mean, Espria's first shot that, smacked off the cross, if he scores that, okay, you give them a clap and you say that's a great goal. But when you give your opponent goals, it's, the league is too hard, it's too much parity, you can't give things away. And so the learning curve there for Ymar and for Cleveland is just you always have to be aware that, you have to play fast, take no risks. I mean, Ymar, instead of maybe playing the ball back, maybe he just kicks it out of bounds. I mean, we've seen that all over the world. The center backs kick the ball out to be safe. But I thought we were on top of them in those moments, and I can see why Ymar kind of felt like, oh, this is going to be okay, because right before that spell, I mean, we had him pinned back. And so you have to give credit a little bit to, Portland. They took a chance. They made us pay.
We'll go over to Matt on Zoom for some questions, and then we will come back to those of you in the room that still have them. Matt, go ahead.
Only seeing one at the moment, so go ahead, Alonso Contreras.
Thank you, Matt. How are you, Coach? Tough loss. Coach, two questions. Sounders is still in first place, like you mentioned in the conference. In the last 4 home games in the MLS, they lost 3 games and 1 tie or 1 draw. It worries you having the home advantage during playoff, but not be able to take advantage of it. And the second question is, Sounders won every corner kick in the air. Why not start crossing the ball in the air more, either the PK or the second post?
You mean during the run of play or on the corner kicks?
And, during the corner kicks, Coach.
I'll answer the first question first. I mean, the advantage in the playoffs is always to the home team, regardless of the home form now in the middle of the year. Alonso, again, it's a hard league. Teams go through spells. I think we'll come out of it. I think our playoff form has been pretty good. I know you guys could probably give us the stats, but our playoff performances at home have been good. The second question is, we don't cross a lot of balls. Yes, when we put Will on there at the end of the game, maybe you cross different balls. The success of the outswinging corner kicks, getting our head first contact, that was actually Ravi Ravameni gave us that stat. So when the ball's curving this way, the attacker usually has first contact. But we don't like to cross the ball from way out here. That's a low percentage play. We like to get the ball in the prime assist zone or try and through combinations get better chances on goal. The only place that I would agree with you, Alonso, is sometimes the early ball along the floor in behind the center back. Sometimes that's an effective way to cross the ball. And I don't think we did a good job on that tonight. I thought Brad had a couple occasions, Alex, where that ball has to go right between the goalkeeper and the center backs. So we can certainly work on that. I'll watch the film and we'll see what we can get better at.
Felipe Maqueda.
Thank you, Matt. Coach Brian, my question is, what's the difference in the pressure when the player plays at home than when the player plays away? Because it seems to me that, like you said, this first half was really a hard one. In the second half, the players play a little more freely. But what's the difference playing away and playing at home in terms of pressure for the play?
Normally you would think that there's more pressure playing away from home. I mean, normally you would think that, because at home you're supposed to feel the crowd and get energy from the crowd, and you go away from home, sometimes it's a little harder, you get tense. So what I would say again is that yes, the team came out in the second half and played very well, very free. And, we're not perfect. We're not going to be perfect. But I'll repeat what everybody says. We're still in first place. If somebody would have told me after, 2/3 of the season we'd be in first place, I would take that. So.
That's it from Zoom.
All right, thanks, Matt. We'll continue over here.
Buenas noches.
Voy a repetir la pregunta que hice hace unos instantes. Si en América del Sur, cuando se le da la oportunidad de jugar a dos equipos, se le llama regalar la pelota. El regalar la pelota fue parte de una estrategia para jugar al contragolpe, la primera pregunta. La segunda pregunta, todo el equipo jugó por debajo de su nivel. Raúl Ruiz Díaz fue quizás uno de los más empeñosos y quien más cerca estuvo del gol. Como se sabe, él ha sido convocado para la selección peruana para los partidos que va a tener en las eliminatorias. ¿Quién o quiénes podrían reemplazarlo?
So in South America, we use the term of giving away the ball. The question is that if for this game, was it part of the strategy to give away the ball to the other team so we can play on a counter-attack more effectively? And then the second question is, most of the players today play a little bit under their level or their regular level. Especially Raúl Ruiz Díaz, he was playing with a lot of intention, but he was not able to put away some of the goals. Now he has been called out for the national team to go and play for Peru. What are your ideas on how you're gonna cover that up while he's gone?
So the first question about transition, no, we don't give the ball away to play transition. We don't try and give other teams the area of the field. We try and press higher up the field. So no, we don't give the ball away in transition. Raul had the shot that the goalkeeper made an excellent save. He almost got on the end of a couple of balls at the far post. He's still the leading scorer. He's been very, very good for us. So, we're very happy with Raul. His performances in MLS has given him a chance to, again, play with his national team. And if he goes to his national team, then, we have Freddie Montero, we have Will Bruin, still have talented players on the team. And we will just do what we always do. When players leave or there's injuries or, any sort of circumstance within a game, I always think that it's the next man up. They have to step up and perform to help the group win games.
Should I translate to Spanish?
Sorry, Bob.
Yeah, give it a quick one. That's a gusto.
I'm the other ball.
That was a long answer.
Ok. Nosotros, nuestra estrategia de juego no es dar la pelota al otro equipo, es más bien presionar en la parte superior del campo y tratar de mantener el balón en ese lado y de esa manera tratar de mantener control sobre el partido. No es nuestra estrategia dar la pelota al otro equipo. Por otro lado, Raúl tuvo buenas oportunidades el día de hoy, un tiro al arco que fue bloqueado y sigue siendo un jugador fundamental para nosotros, sigue siendo el goleador del equipo y es el jugador que está adelante en la liga en términos de goles también, por lo cual es súper importante para nosotros. Su performance, el desempeño que ha tenido con el equipo en los últimos partidos probablemente es lo que haya generado la oportunidad para él para ser llamado para el equipo nacional, por lo cual nosotros estamos muy contentos. Y si le dan la oportunidad, vamos a apoyarlo completamente. Además, tenemos muy jugadores de muy buena calidad como Bruin y Montero, los cuales pueden sustituir a Raúl mientras él está en su momento en la selección. Lo que es importante es que la estrategia del equipo es el siguiente hombre va a apoyar al hombre anterior y siempre tratamos de cumplir con esa filosofía donde cualquier jugador en el equipo está listo para sustituir a alguien que tiene alguna lesión o algún llamado por su equipo nacional y de esa forma creo que el equipo va a mantener teniendo una buena performance.
It's a long answer.
Increíble trabajo, ¿eh? Bravo. Okay, Jeremiah.
Yeah, just kind of changing gears a little bit. Did you get a chance to take in the atmosphere of the rain game?
Oh, yeah.
What did you think of that? I don't know, not being able to kind of continue that narrative, did that kind of bug you as well?
Yeah. I had, a couple of words with Megan when she came off and Laura, right after the game. I think the rain did a great job. It's an exciting game. Had to do some stuff in here, but I'd come out and watch, and I had to go back in. But then we had it up on the TVs in the locker room, so all the guys were watching. We had guys coming out in the tunnel to watch live and stuff like that. So it was a really, again, another seminal moment for soccer fans in this city. I loved having the rain there. I loved having them come and play. The energy in the building was good. Took me a while to get to the stadium today, right at 4 o'clock, because there were a bunch of Sounder fans and, the Mariners game today. So it was a big day for sports in the city of Seattle. And I would hope, it's out of my control, of course, but I would hope or would like to see more opportunities to share the field with the rain, because I thought it was a great event today.
Maz.
Brian, to your point, a lot going on in terms of, the city and in terms of the stadium and all that. 2/3 of the way the season you're in first place. How much you lose to your rival today? How much of this about the messaging about being a big club, about focusing on what's ahead? I mean, not forgetting the losses, but focusing on what's ahead and really getting ready for the business.
Maz, it's an interesting question because, coaches try and, use whatever they can to motivate their team. We see things, we hear things. I listen to the guys' press conferences. I watch their body language at training. I see them before the games, and you always try and find little ways to motivate individuals in the group. But what I'm telling you is this group is just, in the locker room, I could just sense it. They will learn from this game. I don't have to say much. I could just tell, their heads are down, but their shoulders are still up, but it's down. They're a proud group. They go after games. They go at halftime. They talk amongst themselves. They hold themselves accountable for the way they play, for, the way they train. So I don't know if I have to go through all the tricks of the trade and all that to motivate this group. I think they're really bummed. And, I did challenge them to think about their individual performances and their performance as a collective. But to answer your question, we are going to try and push past it. We have to. It's such a hard league. MLS is such a hard league. We can't sit there and dwell on that. I would say I don't think Gio dwelled on 6-2. I think he was ready. His team was ready for the game. So maybe I'd take a page out of his book. Maybe I get my team ready for Minnesota.
Is there a final one? Yeah, Mickey, go for it.
Yeah, thanks. Cullen and Christian both said that part of the issue with the home form is teams coming in and kind of not allowing you guys to play with space and just kind of bunkering back, and perhaps that's how you guys aren't that contributes to you guys not being able to get out on the front foot necessarily in the first half. If there's something to that, and is there anything?
Well, yeah, there is something to it. There have been teams. Teams even this year, the draws against, Atlanta, Austin, stuff like that. Teams, playing 5 at the back here at home. There are circumstances. I don't know if I agree that this game was necessarily too much. I just think in the second half we pushed them back. In the first half, I thought they were able to get out of our pressure again. We didn't defend well. They got out the other side and pushed us back. So we had a little bit more space to run. But then we missed that final pass or the first pass to get our transition moment started. We weren't able to connect those, and then we gave the ball back to them, and that's why we struggled. I think maybe their emotion of the game, towards the end of the game, certainly after Portland scored, then Portland was bunkering for sure. They were bunkering and trying to counter. That's how they scored the second goal.